Hi, my name is Brian.
Hi, I'm Hudson, and we're two geeks talking about the geek.
What's cooler than a robot fighting people?
What is cooler than a robot fighting people?
Robots and pirates fighting people and dinosaurs. What's cooler than robots and pirates fighting dinosaurs and people?
Aliens and ninjas.
Yes, and add wizards and add tentacled beasts and creatures and mash everything up. There we go. Mash everything up. Yes.
Yeah, great
That's what we're going to
game.
talk about.
Great game, by the way.
That's what we're going to talk about today. Not necessarily this board game, but that's the theme we're going with. Genres that we would like to see mashed together or put into RPGs.
Sure.
So, Hudson, you thought of the topic, and it is a good topic. What's been on your mind?
A lot of different things. Like, I keep thinking about Cthulhu in Shadowrun.
Seems like it's a match made in heaven.
It is. It is a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Shadowrun has like all the elements that Cthulhu, like basically all of the elements that Cthulhu wants to have,
Yes, I
right?
agree with that.
Right? They're not inherently like one for one, but they're pretty close a lot of times. Like you could just like
Yeah.
shuffle them around a little bit. Um, you could use like instead of like deep ones, like you could use the Sawagan or whatever that the Shadowrun has. Like they have a sea, like a little sea monster that's like the deep ones.
Oh, sure.
And then they also, and like instead of like the great elder god of the sea, you just use like an elder water dragon or whatever it is. Like
Sure.
it just as terrifying. Like in Shadowrun terms, it's just as terrifying as that other thing. You could have the perfect weapon to fight that thing and still, just lose horribly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadowrun's got like that clunky magic system where like you have to hurt yourself to do it. And another thing with Shadowrun, you have your health bar and your stun bar. How about an insanity bar? Pretty easy.
It's right there.
Yep, a willpower stat.
Yep,
I agree.
yep,
That'd be it.
it's right
That'd be a
there.
great one. In fact, maybe next time we play Shadowrun, maybe we just need to make it a super creepy dark one because that sounds way fun.
Like even without the insanity bar, like some of those creepy dark monsters in Shadowrun, they will hand your head to you on a silver platter
Yes.
without extra mechanics.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. That's a good one. Uh, one thing that I want to see or try out is not that this is anything new by any means, but doing some type of campaign settings that are like alternate history. So you're playing history, but you're tweaking it and twisting it around and putting in like a fantasy genre or putting in a sci-fi genre with history, which I think would be super fun. Many years ago, I remember playing a RPG game, randomly signed up for one. It took place in Rome during like the Roman Republic when we created the characters. Game system at the time, I forget what it was called, but they just said, well, we have a kind of a unique game system. You just pick one ability and it can be anything to our discretion or whatever, like anything really, and we'll tell you if you can't do it or not. And I was like, oh. So my guy was like some Roman soldier, and I think I made it so he could turn his skin to like stone.
Okay.
And the guy was like, sweet, there you go. And so
Yeah.
we just played in Rome and it was cool. And my guy could turn his skin into stone. And it was really fun. But yeah, a little history mashup with stuff. I think it'd be kind of fun. I
Yeah.
have a one shot kind of lined up for that for us in the future, something like that. But don't one shots kind of lean themselves perfectly for trying this out, wouldn't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. Because if it fails, oh well, it's just one night. Like, hey, it didn't
Yeah.
work perfectly. But also
Yeah.
you learn something. Like maybe you can make it work better next time too.
Yeah, because you're gonna modify some rules and all that for the one night, and if it's like super wonky, it's either gonna be really fun or like maybe not. So whatever. Like you just try it out and
Try
see
something
if it
different.
sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like when we talk smash up, mash up stuff, you think silly, which it doesn't obviously have to be silly like the Cthulhu thing, but silliness. One shots, silly one shots are fun for me. I like those. Those are pretty fun. But the door's wide open for lots of smash ups and mashups for sure. What other
Yeah.
genre you think?
You know, if you took D&D and then add John Carpenter's The Thing, only if there was a monster in D&D that just lended itself to oh, doppelganger, mimics. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine
Nice.
like a horror setting where like you had like a doppelganger like running around and
That'd
you're
be
trying to
fun.
figure out like who actually is the doppelganger?
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely done that in my D&D settings before. Like I love the doppelganger story, like sessions and stories. Those are fun.
Right.
Those are fun. One of my favorite movies growing up was Dark Crystal, and exploring that and mixing it up with some type of system would be interesting. You'd have to have a group that all like the Dark Crystal, but so that might be a little tricky, but that's something that kind of popped into my head when we were talking about this topic or thinking about what to say.
Yeah. I remember that being I didn't watch the new one, but I remember like the old one being super creepy.
It's super creepy.
Super creepy.
Uh-huh. Ladies holding their own eyeball, for goodness sakes.
I
I
think
was like,
wasn't that a reference to the one of the Greek mythologies, like the old ladies with the seer, like they had the eye they would pass
oh,
around.
might be, might be.
They were definitely featured in Clash of the Titans. They would pass the eye around and take turns with the eye.
Man, that original Clash of the Titans was like such a joy to watch on TV whenever they would do it. Back in our day, before we could just watch whatever we wanted to in milliseconds.
Yeah. Weird to be that old. But like I remember watching it like again and it was like I mean the special effects are a little rough, but like it's an old
Oh,
movie.
but I still love it. It's still so good. Oh,
Still
I
like
love it. I love it.
I think I would argue that the special effects were better on the new Clash of the Titans, but like that was the only thing that was better.
Well, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I have a new thought. Here we go. Something else that I loved growing up. Dragon's Lair. Now, to mash that up though, because obviously that could just go right into role-playing games. But to mash that up, just to make everybody mad at the table, like the arcade game makes you mad, you can only just say up, down, left, or right to do something, and half the time it won't work and you die.
Half the time, I
Okay,
think there's like
75% of the time.
five
Oh,
options. It's
dude.
only you only have a 20% chance.
Like my favorite game in the world that made me so mad all the time.
Oh my god, that's a
The thing's on the
quarter
right.
sucker.
I click to the right. I click to the right. Yeah. Yeah,
It's a such a quarter sucker.
it is. When Stranger Things featured that at the beginning of season 2, I was very excited because it showed how mad all the kids got and they're like, I pushed this way. And I'm like, that's exactly how I always felt in that game.
I remember playing it at your brother's place because he's got that arcade. I was fighting the dragon at the end, and I was just like going
Were
through it, and I'm
you?
like, but you'd get set back so far. I was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Another really good man. You know, I wish we could take the Alien RPG and set it against something else because it has such a great mechanic. It has a stress mechanic, gives you more dice, which means you're more likely to do the thing. But it also means it sets you up like you roll too well on it and like bad things start happening.
Oh, fun.
Fun, like just like
Nice.
any but you could use that for so many things. You could use that mechanic for like Friday the 13th. No,
Well,
I that's just
yeah,
like the
that'd
horror
be
thing, right?
cool.
Like
Yeah.
you're ready to like okay, you got to run across this thing and like you do your balance thing, but all right, but you're getting more stress, so you have more dice to succeed at it, but you could roll higher, like you could roll,
A worst critical failure.
yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. So you're talking about Friday the 13th. Uh, Earlier I was thinking horror, not Friday that, well, I did kind of think Friday the 13th, but I bet you could mash up. I don't know if there is a role-playing system for it, but Nightmare on Elm Street, where you're always fighting in these weird dreams like states, that'd be cool. That'd be pretty neat. I mean, you could do anything and
yeah.
everything in
Well,
that.
you could, and then like how do you like tie in the real world? Like that's That's a cool just campaign setting idea. Like I
We
bet we could find all sorts of settings that work for that. But how do you
yeah,
tie in the real world?
we just
That's
gave somebody an
fun.
idea. They're gonna make a bunch of money off this in a few
Yeah,
years.
right.
And we're gonna
Right.
be making these videos still with
Yeah.
with 10 views. Maybe we'll get 11. Come on, people. Come on. Go like and subscribe. We're great.
Oh
uh
man. That's a great idea, Brad.
that is a good one. Tron is one of my favorite things of all time, but I know there has been a Tron RPG or because our friend Alex played one at Gen Con years back. But yeah, Tron would be interesting to
You know
see
what
how
you
it would
could
go.
do? You could do the Shadowrun like hacker stuff,
The Matrix.
Matrix stuff, like use the rules, and then like for the real world stuff, like you just have them be like normal people.
Yeah, it'd be very boring. Hey, how you doing? Good. How are you? Good.
But
What's
the
going
thing
on?
is, though, like you say it would be boring, but like you could have them like have like some of those computer skills or whatever still, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with it, like in the physical world. Like maybe they're trying to like turn off the hardware, and then you have like one person gets out and they're trying to turn off the hardware, but you have like the other people trying to scramble through like to get out before they're shut off because they don't know what's going to
True.
happen because
Yeah,
it's
true.
not Shadowrun, but like you're
Yeah.
using a lot of those mechanics because it's just kind of built for it already.
Yeah.
That's a great idea too.
Be interesting. I would say Transformers and G.I. Joes, but they have RPGs for that, that are
You
doing
know,
pretty
but the
good.
thing is,
So,
is I bet we could do better. I bet,
oh, ouch.
ooh, ouch. But no, like
Ouch.
seriously, just regular D&D already has a creature called uh something, but it's based
Warforged.
Warforged. And
Mm-hmm.
like that's just basically like you just turn it into um
Transformer.
you can turn that into a transformer so easy. So
Yeah.
easy. And
I
then you
mean
can
the
just have regular humans. You'd have to roll back a little bit, but they have third edition had a thing that was called Modern D20. So they had rules for like playing different characters like in the real world. So
But
you
hold
like
on, there's a
you could
there's a problem with this. Transformers don't roll back; they roll out. Ayo,
actually one that might do very well with it would be the big eyes, small mouth.
anime one.
Yep.
That seems like that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then you said GI Joe. 100%. You just like you figure out how to make the GI Joe in that system, and then you figure out how to make the transfer of that session, and then you just figure out. Oh yeah, I bet that's the system
And
you would use
and anime systems have ninja rules, so I mean, you got Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes like right off the bat.
right off the bat. But like I'm sure they have just like a regular soldier rules too.
Yeah.
Duke.
Hey, Duke's the best. Duke's great. They're all great. I love GI Joes. I love them all.
Yeah.
They're
Although
awesome.
wouldn't be hard to make Starscream and Optimus Prime either. That Soundwave. Soundwave.
Soundwave's awesome. Gosh,
Soundwave's the greatest Decepticon in my opinion.
is he? He's up there, man. He is up there. They are so cool.
Like Megatron is super important to the story, but like
He's
Soundwave is like the ultimate like Decepticon soldier.
yeah, yeah. You said steampunk earlier. It would be super cool if they could make this like steampunk world where there's these big war jacks and it's really cool and they're controlled by a warcaster. Oh wait, that is an RPG and yeah, fortunately that has never really taken off. But yeah.
Because it was hard to get the Warjacks and the War Beasts in there. If you're willing to like
Mm.
forego that and just have like the NPC like a background the NPCs could do it, it's a lot. I think you could there's a lot of room in that world to play without that.
Do you remember that cartoon in the 80s or no, probably 90s where there was dinosaurs and then there was like dudes riding on them and it was semi sci-fi, very much looking like that right there. Do you remember that one?
I think I had the Brontosaurus or whatever they called it at the time, and like and then you put batteries in it and you turn it on and it'll like walk forward. I think I
Yeah.
had that. I think I had that.
Probably had names like Lasersaurus and stuff like
I
that.
don't remember. I don't.
Sci-fi
Yeah,
and dinosaurs. That's kind of fun. Kind of fun.
yeah. You could do Shadowrun with Jurassic Park. Shadowrun Jurassic Park. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
We keep going
Cyber.
back to Shadowrun. I mean, that might be
Shadowrun's
one.
got
It's
such great things in it. Like
it does. I know. It's awesome.
you could go nuts with it. And like
It's so
because it's
good.
set in the future, there's already like it already has like genetic manipulation in it. It has cybernetics in it. It has magic in it. You could just do so many things with that system. And they're
Hmm.
like, well, we're gonna do our own world, which is fine. Like it's a fine world, don't get
It's
me
a
wrong.
great
But
world.
like you could put even within that world, you could do Jurassic Park. You do Cyber Jurassic Park.
Cyber Jurassic Park. Wonder if this Paul Peterson guy will ever do an RPG of Smashed Up. I would
Oh, that'd be
imagine.
hilarious.
I bet that that would sell well at first, at least. I
Yeah.
bet a lot of people would buy it right away. And then, it just depends if they liked it or not. But there you go, Paul Peterson. Make a smash up role playing game.
Yeah.
Like
Dinosaurs and Ninjas.
GURPS, for goodness sakes, is easy system to make anything
GURPS,
you
and there
want.
was another one. There was another one that just blended itself. GURPS was one of them.
Yeah.
There was another. I want to say there was another system that is like you could just do anything with.
Well, I tell you what, if you have any good smash up ideas for role playing games, if you want to see two different genres put into one, post in our comments below. We'd love to see what you think. And until then, please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you.
Yep. See you next time.